The Great Transition. Picture this. After decades of alarm clocks, commutes, meetings and deadlines, you wake up on a Monday morning and realize you have nowhere you have to be. No boss expecting you. No schedule demanding your attention. For the first time in perhaps 40 years, your time is completely your own. This moment, the beginning of retirement, can feel simultaneously liberating and terrifying. You've dreamed of this freedom for years, but now that it's here, you might find yourself asking, now what? You're not alone in this feeling. Retirement represents one of life's major transitions, ranking alongside marriage, parenthood, and career changes in terms of psychological impact. After spending most of your adult life with an externally imposed structure, the sudden absence of that framework can leave even the most accomplished individuals feeling lost or anxious. Some new retirees experience what researchers call retirement syndrome. Feelings of depression, loss of identity, or lack of purpose that can emerge in the months following retirement. Studies show that up to 30% of retirees experience some form of depression in their first year, often because they haven't successfully transitioned from a work-centered identity to a retirement-centered purpose. But here's the encouraging truth. Retirement doesn't have to mean the end of structure, productivity, or meaning. In fact, the most satisfied retirees are those who create new routines that are even more fulfilling than their working years. They understand something crucial. Freedom without structure often becomes emptiness, but freedom with intentional structure becomes liberation. The difference between retirees who thrive and those who struggle isn't financial. It's structural. It's not about how much money you have. It's about how meaningfully you spend your time. The happiest retirees have learned to become the architects of their own days, designing routines that reflect their values, interests, and newfound priorities. Today, we're going to explore how to build that meaningful routine. We'll discover why routine matters so much in retirement, how to identify what should fill your days, and most importantly, how to create sustainable patterns that will make your retirement years the most rewarding of your life. Whether you're newly retired or have been struggling to find your rhythm for months or even years, it's never too late to redesign your days with intention and purpose. Understanding the psychology of retirement. Before we dive into building routines, it's crucial to understand what retirement really represents from a psychological perspective. For most people, retirement isn't just a career change. It's an identity shift of seismic proportions. Think about how you've introduced yourself for the past several decades. I'm a teacher. I'm an accountant. I'm a manager. Your profession wasn't just what you did. It was who you were. It provided not just income, but identity, social connection, daily structure, and a sense of contribution. When retirement removes that central organizing principle of your life, it can feel like losing a part of yourself. Psychologists have identified several key losses that accompany retirement. The loss of role identity, the loss of social connections with colleagues, the loss of intellectual challenges, the loss of routine and structure, and often, the loss of feeling needed or valuable to society. But retirement also offers unprecedented gains. The gain of time freedom, the gain of choice in how to spend your energy, the gain of opportunities to pursue neglected interests, the gain of flexibility to prioritize relationships, and the gain of autonomy over your daily life. The key to successful retirement lies in acknowledging both the losses and the gains, then intentionally building a new life structure that honors what you miss while embracing what you've gained. This is where routine becomes essential. Routine isn't about rigidity or boring repetition. It's about creating a framework that provides the benefits you lost from work while maximizing the benefits you've gained from retirement. Research consistently shows that retirees who maintain some structure in their days report higher levels of life satisfaction, better physical health, stronger relationships, and greater sense of purpose. They sleep better, stay more active, maintain social connections, and adapt more successfully to the challenges that come with aging. But here's the beautiful part. Unlike the routine imposed by your working years, retirement routines can be entirely of your own making. You get to decide what time to wake up, how to spend your mornings, what activities deserve your attention, and how to balance solitude with social connection. The most successful retirees approach this opportunity with the same intentionality they once applied to their careers. They don't just let retirement happen to them. They actively design it. They become researchers of their own preferences, experimenters with different activities, and architects of their ideal days. Understanding the psychological landscape is the first step toward building a routine that doesn't just fill time, but enriches life. Identifying your retirement values and interests. Now that you understand the psychological foundation, let's get practical. Building a meaningful retirement routine starts with a fundamental question. What matters to you now? This isn't necessarily the same as what mattered to you during your working years. Many retirees discover that their priorities have shifted dramatically. Values that were suppressed by career demands, like creativity, adventure, service, or family connection, often resurface with surprising intensity. Start by conducting what I call a retirement values inventory. Ask yourself these essential questions. If you had unlimited time and energy, how would you spend your days? What activities make you lose track of time? What did you always say you'd do when you have more time? What aspects of your working life did you find most fulfilling? What relationships have you neglected that you'd like to rebuild? Also consider what you definitely don't want. What aspects of your working life are you happy to leave behind? What activities drain your energy rather than restore it? What commitments are you ready to release? Many retirees find it helpful to think in categories. Physical activities. What movement brings you joy? Could it be walking, swimming, dancing, gardening, or learning a new sport? Intellectual pursuits. What subjects fascinate you? Perhaps history, science, languages, philosophy, or current events. Creative expressions. What forms of creativity call to you? Writing, painting, music, crafts, cooking, or photography. Service opportunities. How do you want to contribute? Through volunteering, mentoring, community involvement, or helping family members. Social connections also deserve careful consideration. Who are the people you want to spend more time with? Are there new relationships you'd like to build? Do you prefer large groups or intimate gatherings? Are you energized by meeting new people or by deepening existing relationships? Here's a practical exercise. For 1 week, carry a small notebook and jot down moments when you feel energized, engaged, or satisfied. Also note moments when you feel bored, frustrated, or empty. Patterns will emerge that can guide your routine building. Don't forget to consider your natural rhythms. Are you a morning person who feels most energetic early in the day, or do you come alive in the afternoon or evening? When do you prefer to be social versus solitary? When do you concentrate best? Honor these natural patterns rather than fighting them. Many retirees also benefit from thinking about legacy. What do you want to be remembered for in this chapter of your life? How do you want to grow or contribute during your retirement years? What would make you proud to look back on this time? It's important to give yourself permission to experiment and change your mind. Unlike career decisions that might require years of commitment, retirement activities can be tried, modified, or abandoned relatively easily. Think of yourself as conducting research into your own preferences and interests. Remember, this isn't about filling every moment with activity. Rest, relaxation, and even some degree of boredom can be valuable parts of a retirement routine. The goal is to create a balance that feels purposeful and satisfying to you, regardless of what others might think or do. The foundation. Basic daily structure. Once you've identified your values and interests, it's time to create the foundation of your routine. The basic daily structure that will anchor your retirement life. Think of this as building the skeleton upon which everything else will hang. The most successful retirees maintain what researchers call time anchors. Consistent elements that provide structure to their days and weeks. These aren't rigid schedules, but reliable touchstones that create rhythm and predictability. Start with your sleep schedule. This might seem obvious, but many new retirees struggle with sleep disruption because they've lost the external cues that regulated their sleep-wake cycle for decades. Decide on consistent wake-up and bedtimes, even if they're different from your working years. Maybe you were always a morning person forced to stay up late for evening work commitments, or perhaps you're naturally a night owl who had to wake up earlier than felt natural. Retirement is your chance to align your schedule with your natural rhythms. Create a morning routine that signals the start of your day with intention. This doesn't have to be elaborate. It might be as simple as coffee and newspaper reading, a morning walk, meditation, or time in the garden. The key is consistency and mindfulness. Your morning routine should ease you into the day rather than rushing you through it. Build in regular meal times. When you worked, lunch breaks and dinner times provided natural breaks in your day. Without external structure, many retirees find themselves eating irregularly or mindlessly. Planned meals serve multiple purposes. They provide structure, ensure proper nutrition, and can become social opportunities if you choose to share them with others. Establish weekly anchors as well as daily ones. Maybe Monday mornings offer grocery shopping and meal planning. Perhaps Wednesday afternoons offer volunteer work. Friday evenings might be for social activities. These weekly rhythms create a larger framework that prevents days from blending together meaninglessly. Don't forget to build in transition rituals. Activities that help you shift from one part of your day to another. In your working life, your commute might have served this purpose, giving you time to mentally transition between home and work modes. In retirement, you might need to create artificial transitions. A short walk between morning and afternoon activities, a cup of tea before evening relaxation time, or a few minutes of stretching between sedentary and active pursuits. Consider creating different types of days within your week. Maybe Mondays offer household tasks and errands. Tuesdays could be for physical activities and health appointments. Wednesdays might be devoted to learning or intellectual pursuits. Thursdays could focus on social activities and community involvement. This variety prevents monotony while ensuring that different aspects of your life receive attention. Remember to build in flexibility. The beauty of retirement is that you're not locked into rigid schedules. If a friend calls with an invitation, if the weather is perfect for an outdoor activity, or if you simply wake up wanting to do something different, you have the freedom to adjust. The structure should support your life, not constrain it. Building meaningful activities and purposes. With your basic structure in place, it's time to fill it with activities that bring meaning, satisfaction, and joy to your retirement years. This is where retirement transforms from simply not working to actively living with purpose. The key insight here is that meaningful retirement activities often combine multiple benefits. The best activities don't just fill time. They provide intellectual stimulation, social connection, physical activity, creative expression, or opportunities to contribute to something larger than yourself. Let's explore different categories of meaningful activities and how to integrate them into your routine. Learning and growth activities. Many retirees discover a renewed hunger for learning, freed from the pressure of career advancement. This might involve formal education, auditing college courses, attending community education programs, or participating in lifelong learning institutes. Or it might be self-directed learning, reading extensively about subjects that fascinate you, learning new skills through online tutorials, or taking up hobbies that challenge your mind. The beauty of retirement learning is that it's purely for personal satisfaction. You can study art history because it brings you joy, learn a foreign language because you've always been curious, or master woodworking because you love creating with your hands. Build regular learning time into your routine. Perhaps morning reading, afternoon online courses, or evening documentary watching. Service and contribution activities. Many retirees find deep satisfaction in volunteer work or community service. This addresses one of the biggest losses of retirement, the sense of being needed and making a meaningful contribution. The key is finding service opportunities that align with your values and interests. If you love the mentoring aspects of your career, consider tutoring students or mentoring young professionals. If you're passionate about causes like environmental protection, animal welfare, or social justice, look for organizations where you can contribute your skills and time. If you enjoy working with your hands, organizations like Habitat for Humanity might be perfect. Consider both regular commitments and project-based volunteering. Maybe you volunteer at a literacy center every Tuesday morning, but also participate in seasonal activities like tax preparation assistance or holiday food drives. Creative and expressive activities. Retirement often unleashes creativity that was dormant during working years. Whether you're returning to artistic pursuits from your youth or discovering new forms of expression, creative activities provide immense satisfaction and personal growth. This might involve visual arts like painting, drawing, or photography. It could be performing arts like music, dance, or theater. Perhaps it's literary arts like writing poetry, memoirs, or fiction. Or it might be craft-based creativity like quilting, pottery, or jewelry making. Many retirees find that joining creative groups or classes enhances both the activity and the social benefits. Art classes, writing groups, community theater, or craft circles provide structure, learning opportunities, and social connections. Physical and wellness activities. Maintaining and improving physical health becomes increasingly important with age, but retirement gives you the time to prioritize wellness in ways you never could during working years. This goes beyond just exercise, though regular physical activity is crucial. Consider activities that combine fitness with other benefits. Walking groups provide exercise and socialization, gardening provides movement and creative satisfaction, dancing provides physical activity and joy. Also consider wellness practices like yoga, tai chi, meditation, or regular massage. These activities support both physical and mental health while providing routine structure. Relationship and social activities. Strong relationships are crucial for happiness and health in retirement. Build social activities into your routine that nurture existing relationships and create opportunities for new ones. This might include regular coffee dates with friends, participating in social groups or clubs, hosting dinner parties or game nights, or joining organizations based on shared interests. Consider both intimate social activities with close friends and family, and broader community connections through churches, community centers, or interest-based groups. Adventure and exploration activities. Retirement often provides the first real opportunity for extended travel, exploration, and adventure. This doesn't necessarily mean expensive international travel. It might be exploring your own region, taking day trips to nearby attractions, or participating in adventure activities you never had time for. Build exploration into your routine. Maybe one day trip per month, one longer trip per season, or weekly explorations of different neighborhoods in your own city. The key to all these activities is finding the right balance and combination for your personality, interests, and energy level. Some retirees thrive with packed schedules full of varied activities. Others prefer a slower pace with deeper engagement in fewer pursuits. Honor your own preferences and don't feel pressured to fill every moment. Overcoming common obstacles. Even with the best intentions, building and maintaining a retirement routine comes with challenges. Let's address the most common obstacles and practical strategies for overcoming them. The motivation challenge. Without external deadlines or expectations, some retirees struggle with motivation. The solution isn't to eliminate flexibility, but to create accountability systems that work for you. This might mean joining groups with regular meetings, scheduling activities with friends who depend on your participation, or setting personal goals with deadlines. Many retirees find that having a mix of solo activities and group commitments provides the right balance of flexibility and accountability. If you commit to a Tuesday morning volunteer shift or a Thursday hiking group, you're less likely to fall into patterns of endless postponement. The energy management challenge. Retirement brings both the gift of time and the reality of potentially lower energy levels. The key is working with your energy rather than against it. Schedule demanding activities during your peak energy hours, build and rest periods, and don't overschedule yourself. Pay attention to which activities energize you and which drain you, then plan accordingly. If morning volunteer work leaves you refreshed and engaged, schedule it regularly. If certain social activities exhaust you, limit them or find ways to make them more sustainable. The social pressure challenge. Friends, family, or society might have expectations about how you should spend retirement. Some people expect retirees to be constantly busy with activities, while others assume retirement means complete relaxation. The truth is that your retirement should reflect your values and preferences, not others' expectations. Be prepared to explain your choices and set boundaries. If family members expect you to be available for babysitting duties every day, but you need time for your own activities, have honest conversations about availability and limits. The perfectionism challenge. Some retirees feel pressure to optimize every moment of retirement, turning leisure into another form of productivity pressure. Remember that rest, relaxation, and even some boredom can be valuable parts of a retirement routine. Build an unstructured time for spontaneity and rest. Not every moment needs to be meaningful or productive in obvious ways. Sometimes the most meaningful thing you can do is sit on your porch and watch the world go by. The routine fatigue challenge. Even good routines can become stale over time. Build in regular reviews of your routine, perhaps quarterly assessments where you consider what's working, what isn't, and what you'd like to try differently. Give yourself permission to evolve your routine as your interests, energy, or circumstances change. The routine that works in early retirement might not work 5 or 10 years later, and that's perfectly normal. The comparison challenge. Seeing other retirees' activities on social media or hearing about friends' retirement adventures can lead to dissatisfaction with your own choices. Remember that everyone's retirement will look different based on health, finances, interests, and family situations. Focus on whether your routine is satisfying to you rather than how it compares to others. The goal isn't to have the most impressive retirement, but the most fulfilling one for your particular circumstances and preferences. Adapting your routine as you age. One of the most important aspects of retirement routine building is understanding that your routine will need to evolve as you age. The activities and schedule that work in early retirement may not work in later retirement, and successful retirees plan for this evolution rather than fighting it. Early retirement, 60s, early 70s. This phase often feels most like an extension of your working years, with high energy levels and good health allowing for active pursuits. This might be the time for more demanding volunteer work, extensive travel, physically challenging activities, and learning new skills that require significant mental energy. Many people in early retirement maintain fairly structured routines that mirror working life rhythms. You might wake up early, have full days of activities, and maintain busy social schedules. This is also often the time when people take on caregiving responsibilities for older parents or provide childcare for grandchildren. Middle retirement, mid-70s, early 80s. Energy levels may begin to decrease, but experience and wisdom increase. This phase often involves some modifications to activities, perhaps shorter travel trips, less physically demanding volunteer work, or more local activities rather than those requiring significant travel. Many people in this phase become more selective about commitments, choosing to go deeper into fewer activities rather than maintaining broad involvement. This might be when you transition from active volunteering to advisory roles, or from learning entirely new skills to refining and sharing existing expertise. Later retirement, 80s and beyond. This phase requires the most adaptation, as physical limitations may require significant changes to routines. However, this doesn't mean the end of meaningful activities. It means finding new ways to maintain purpose and engagement. Activities might become more home-based or require less physical mobility. This could be the time to focus on activities like reading, writing, phone-based connections with friends and family, mentoring through digital platforms, or enjoying creative activities that can be done from home. Strategies for successful adaptation. Build flexibility into your routine from the beginning. Instead of rigidly defined activities, think in terms of categories of meaningful engagement that can be fulfilled in various ways as circumstances change. Develop both active and passive versions of your interests. If you love travel, also cultivate enjoyment of travel shows, books, and virtual experiences. If you love physical gardening, also explore indoor plants, garden planning, and sharing gardening knowledge with others. Maintain social connections that can adapt to changing circumstances. Develop friendships that can transition from in-person activities to phone calls or digital communication if needed. Consider technology skills that will help you stay connected as mobility decreases. Focus on developing wisdom-sharing activities that can continue throughout later retirement. Whether through writing, mentoring, or simply being available for family members who value your perspective, these roles often become more meaningful and accessible as you age. Plan for the possibility of caregiving needs, either providing care for a spouse or receiving care yourself. Routines that include both independent activities and family/caregiver involvement provide stability during transitions. Remember that adaptation doesn't mean giving up on meaningful engagement. It means finding new forms of meaning that fit your changing circumstances. Some retirees report that later retirement, while requiring more adaptation, offers unique satisfactions like deeper relationships, greater wisdom, and the peace that comes from a life well lived. Your retirement routine as a living blueprint. As we conclude our exploration of building a retirement routine, It's important to remember that your routine isn't a rigid prison. It's a living blueprint that should evolve and adapt as you do. The most successful retirees view routine building as an ongoing experiment rather than a one-time decision. They understand that what works today might not work tomorrow, and they remain curious and flexible about how they spend their time. Your retirement routine should serve several essential functions. It should provide structure without rigidity, giving your days shape and purpose while preserving the freedom that retirement offers. It should reflect your authentic interests and values, not what you think retirement should look like or what works for others. A good retirement routine balances solitude with social connection, recognizing that you need both personal reflection time and meaningful relationships. It should include activities that challenge you intellectually, engage you physically, satisfy you emotionally, and connect you to something larger than yourself. Most importantly, your routine should evolve with you. As your interests change, as your energy levels shift, as your family circumstances evolve, and as your health needs change, your routine should adapt accordingly. The goal isn't to find the perfect retirement routine once and stick with it forever. It's to develop the skills and mindset to continually craft routines that support your well-being and satisfaction. Think of routine building as a skill you'll use throughout retirement. Just as you developed professional skills throughout your career, developing the ability to design meaningful days is a crucial retirement skill. This includes learning to assess what's working and what isn't, experimenting with new activities and approaches, and making adjustments based on your experiences. Remember that building a meaningful retirement routine is both an individual journey and one where you can learn from others. Stay open to inspiration from fellow retirees, but always filter their experiences through your own values and circumstances. Some final practical advice. Start slowly. You don't need to have your entire retirement routine figured out immediately. Begin with 1 or 2 anchor activities and build from there. Give new activities time to develop. Sometimes what feels awkward or unfulfilling initially becomes deeply satisfying once you've developed competence and relationships around it. Be patient with yourself during the transition. Moving from the externally imposed structure of working life to self-directed retirement takes time and practice. It's normal to feel uncertain or to have days that feel less satisfying as you're figuring out what works for you. Celebrate the freedom retirement provides. After decades of having your schedule largely determined by external demands, the ability to design your own days is a remarkable gift. Approach it with gratitude and excitement rather than anxiety. Finally, remember that the ultimate goal of a retirement routine isn't efficiency or productivity in the traditional sense, it's life satisfaction. The best retirement routine is the one that helps you wake up most mornings feeling grateful for the day ahead, and go to sleep most evenings feeling satisfied with how you spent your time. Your retirement years can be among the most fulfilling and purposeful of your life. With intentional routine building, you can create a structure that supports not just the passing of time, but the meaningful living of life. The choice, and the design, is entirely yours. Welcome to the beautiful work of crafting your retirement routine. Your future self will thank you for the thoughtful attention you give to this important task.